Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University, School of Education, SOE, Master's Degree Programs, Master of Arts, Distance Education, MDE, First Year. MDE 518 Educational Communication Technologies, Revised Block-3 Content Creation Tools. Unit 13, Digital Video.
13.0 Introduction. With the universal invasion of television into our homes, there is perhaps a very rare chance that you are not aware of video as a medium of communication. And with hundreds of different channels focusing on different target audiences, you are also aware of the wide range of possibilities the video medium offers, from a news reader reading out a report kind of presentation to a high-drama crocodile hunter in action, to swamis demonstrating yoga to a soap opera, to a movie to a game show. You have perhaps by now seen almost all possible ways in which this medium can be leveraged for effective communication as opposed to cinema. Television is known to be a close-up and a far more invasive medium. It can reach out to you even when you are relaxing in your bedroom. And at a technological level, video has become a common man's medium. Today even a novice can wield a small handheld video camera, even a mobile phone with a video recording facility, and make short movies. It took some time for people to recognize the power and utility of this medium and its miniaturized, simplified technologies, but it has begun to be universally used. For our purpose, video is no more restricted to buying a DVD. Earlier you would buy a videotape and showing it in the classroom. Every teacher, every student can now be the author of a video. Think how this opens out a large canvas of possibilities for its use in education, and how it supports modern educational thought and practice. We will attempt to understand this medium from a technological point of view, so that you could leverage this to make your own educational communication more effective. Now that video has gone digital, we also dream of placing video files on the web and play or download it worldwide. The size of the video file will of course have enormous implications. Ways of managing this size and its effects on the attributes of the video itself will also be explored. 13.1 Learning Outcomes. After working through this unit, you are expected to be able to identify different types of digital video formats. Describe the advantages of digital video. Record and create digital video for use in different conditions, and design a video for an educational communication. 13.2 Video Basics. While visually video resembles cinema very much, technologically it is drastically different. In fact, this is what has enabled video to be miniaturized and converted into an amateur device. Cinema is based on a series of still pictures played at a speed where the eye sees it as a constant picture or a continuous moving scene. Hence, if an action is depicted as a progressive set of pictures and played at this speed, the viewer would see the action as if it is happening in real time. That is why this technology of moving images is referred to as a movie. Video retains this concept of playing out frames sequentially and rapidly, but unlike cinema, stores the information on a magnetic media and nowadays on optical media too. While recording, the optical information is stored as electromagnetic information on the magnetic tape and played back using a reading head like in an audio tape recorder. This has resulted in a large range of devices of different formats and sizes of tapes and tape recorders. You would have heard of VHS, S-video, DAT, etc. Among the optical playback media, you would have heard of VCD and DVD, which use a laser beam to read. Many other formats have been used in Professional recording, playing back of video also differs from cinema at the technological level. While you would use an optical projector, shining light through a film, in the case of cinema, you use a television monitor to play back video. The television monitor uses a cathode ray tube to reconstruct the image from the electromagnetic signal received from the tape or the camera. The way the television plays back information has implications for picture quality. Let us examine this in some detail. The cathode ray tube, as may be aware, produces a continuous ray of electrons. These electrons, when they strike a phosphorescent screen, produce a spot of light, a dot on the screen. In a television monitor, this ray of electrons is made to scan across the screen to generate a line, rather a closely packed row of dots. You have learnt this in Unit 11. At the end of each line, the signal retraces to the left edge of the display, goes a step down and then starts scanning the next line, and then the next. Starting at the top, all of the lines on the display are scanned in this way. One complete set of lines makes a picture. This is called a frame. Once the first complete picture is scanned, the scanning circuit retraces to the top of the display and starts scanning the next frame or picture. This sequence is repeated at a fast enough rate so that the displayed images are perceived to have continuity, and if the image depicts motion, you would see a continuous one. In the case of a black and white television monitor, the screen produces a white spot, whose brightness is varied through a range of gray shades from black to white, thereby producing the picture. In the case of a color television, each dot on the screen is actually composed of 3 dots of phosphor, capable of responding to the electron beam and produce red, green and blue dots respectively, which together can generate an image of any color. 3.2.1 Analog versus digital. Electricity and electromagnetic waves, which include light, radio waves or even X-rays, are transmitted as a continuous wave, which depends on the frequency and the amplitude of the varying quantity, say voltage or color, and intensity of the light. Any signal which can be superposed on these waves can use them as a carrier and be transmitted across large distances or stored on magnetic or optical media. This is exactly what happens to the audio and video signals generated by the video camera. And as the variation of the audio or video signal, being electrical in origin, is analogous to the carrying electrical signal, we refer to it as analog. A typical cathode ray tube-based television monitor strips the carrier and uses the audio and video signal to generate the image and sound. A digital signal is composed of a square wave, the flat peak representing 1 or on or true, and the base line representing 0 or off or false. See figure 13.1. All computers and therefore computer displays receive and process digital signals. If you happen to have a cathode ray tube-based monitor, then the graphics card on your computer is actually converting the digital signal to an analog signal, which is then processed to display images. The LCD, plasma or LED displays directly use the digital signal to display images. Some of these may even have a capability to receive and process an analog signal, in which case it converts it into a digital signal. Such conversion from analog to digital or vice versa is referred to as modulation and demodulation. 3.2.2 Frame rate and resolution. A cinema or motion picture reel moves 24 frames every second, a television monitor 25 frames every second. This means between every single frame, there must be an interval of time, however tiny, when the screen is actually blank. The human eye's inability to see these blank in-betweens is what has made cinema, animation or television possible. Referred to as persistence of vision, this failure enables our perception of one continuous smooth motion. The minimum frame rate to achieve the illusion of a moving image, persistence of vision, is about 15 frames per second worldwide. 3 major video standards have been adopted. While PAL, used in Europe, Asia, Australia, etc., and SICAM, used in France, Russia, parts of Africa, etc., standards specify 25 frames per second. NTSC, USA, Canada, Japan, etc., specifies 29.97 frames per second. This is referred to as the frame rate. How fast is this? To give you an idea, consider the fact that you would see 25 frames every second using a PAL device for you to perceive a continuous image. So every frame is constructed in 1/25th of a second. A typical television screen consists of 576 horizontal lines, and each line is made up of 625 dots, creating a matrix of 360,000 dots. So, each point of light constructed on the screen stays for 1/9 million of a second. We considered how a still image is constructed in Unit 11. You may like to revise it at this stage. Television and in fact computer screens to construct video images in exactly the same fashion, except that it changes to 25 times every second. Modern-day displays have evolved from the cathode ray tube to liquid, crystal displays, plasma displays and light-emitting diode displays. While each of them combines the red, green and blue dots to produce a dot of the desired color using different techniques, the basic scanning process we described above is still the same. What has changed, of course, is the size of the dot and the number of dots packed across the screen. This makes the screen display brighter and display more vivid colors, closer to the true colors, the characteristics of the display, and in the case of a computer-controlled system, the graphics capability, which governs the input to the display, have a bearing on the resolution of the image. While in the case of an analog display, the numbers of scan lines were fixed, so a larger screen only spaced out the dots. Obviously, you could not sit too close to a large screen television. With the advent of digital displays, however, the number of pixels that could be packed onto the screen emerged as the factor. So, we have a range of display resolutions: 640 x 480, 800 x 600, 1024 x 768, and now 1280x 1024 on regular desktop computer displays. As video is played in a window, the size of the video frame could be any fraction of this, all the way to a full screen one. So, if the original source has a smaller frame size, say 320 x 240, and you play it on a screen set to 1024 x 768, the video will play in a small window. If you now maximize the window or shift to a full screen video mode, you will still see the video but of a much poorer quality. The information available in the original video is smeared over a larger area, leading to a loss in quality. Notice that 640 by 480 or 800 by 600 or 1024 by 768 is in the ratio 4:3. This ratio, known as the aspect ratio, is in fact the standard for video. With the emergence of high-definition television, HD TV, a ratio of 16:9 is also becoming popular. 3.2.3 interlaced and non-interlaced video. There are two different techniques used to paint the picture on the screen. Television signals are interlaced and computer signals are progressive or non-interlaced. In the case of interlaced scanning, each picture frame is divided into two separate subpictures referred to as fields. Two fields make up a frame. An interlaced picture is painted on the screen in two passes, by first scanning the horizontal lines of the first field and then retracing to the top of the screen and then scanning the horizontal lines for the second field. In between the first set, a progressive or non-interlaced picture is painted on the screen by scanning all of the horizontal lines of the picture in one pass, from the top to the bottom. The technique of interlacing was to overcome the limitation of the speed of the scanning process, which led to a flicker in the image. With the advent of digital technologies, speed of all processes have increased tremendously and a progressive scan is becoming the standard, particularly with LCD, plasma or LED screens. 3.2.4 video color system. Just like the still image, the video is also constructed using the primary colors red, green and blue. Most home televisions and computer monitors accept a signal which is a composite of these three colors and information for synchronization of the signal. Professional video devices use other combinations or even separate signals for each color. See Unit 11 for a description of how these three primary colors combine to generate other colors. 3.2.5 Capturing digital video. Capturing digital video can be conceived of into different contexts. 1. Where the source is analog, and 2. Where the source is digital. If you are using a video cassette player and a VHS tape as your storage or an analog video camera, you would require converting your video to a digital format. The basic device used for this purpose is a video capture card attached to a computer. The device and its supporting software perform the following functions: times convert the analog signal to a digital signal, times synchronize with the video playback device and copy video, times process the signal, reading and converting the video into an appropriate format, times convert the image size, compress the image, or otherwise modify it to desired requirements, times facilitate the storing and retrieval of the digital video. There are a variety of video capture cards and software, and their choice depends on various factors like the source of video, the desired purpose and quality of the output digital file, and formats in which the video will be stored and processed. Different cards also permit different range of compressions of video. See section on video compression. If the source of video is a digital device, say a digital handycam or a digital still camera with a video option, then standard ports like FireWire or USB could be used depending on the output format of the camera. Generally, such devices have a built-in storage medium like a memory card or disk. In such cases, the process is simply that of reading and copying the digital video files onto the hard disk of your computer. 3.2.6 Video compression and streaming video. At this stage you might once again like to revise the section on file formats and file sizes in Unit 11. Just like it was necessary to resize and compress a single image, it is necessary, in fact even more so, to resize and compress video in the analog television world. The issue did not arise, as there was one standard being used across same image size, same number of lines, same color processing technology. Of course, there were differences between PAL, SICAM and NTSC. They were mutually incompatible anyway and you did not resort to conversion. During that phase, television and video remained a job for the professionals based on the purpose for your video. You might want it stored as a VCD, or as a DVD, or as a digital file on the hard disk to incorporate it into a slide show or a multimedia project. You may also want to upload your video onto the web and make it available to all. Each of these requirements will have different implications for the image size, file size and format of your video. Playing back a video from a video player or a computer involves the reading of the file, decoding the format, and sending portions of the file in the right sequence from the storage area to the monitor. One would also expect a smooth playback of the video with the audio properly synchronized. In fact, the eyes and ears together can easily discern even the slightest mismatch between the audio and the video. A simple rule of the thumb: smaller the file size, smoother will be its transfer. In the case of a computer, it would also involve the speeds and capacity of the CD/DVD drive, the memory, RAM, and the graphics card. To the extent the file size is within the capacity of the computer, you can be sure of a smooth video playback. If the file is being played from the internet, the bandwidth of the internet connection and the speed of the server serving the video file also matters. So, how do we ensure a smooth playback? What characteristics of the video file will affect its smooth transfer? Image size of your video is identical to that you used for a still image. It refers to the width and height of the video window. As we noted earlier, the video window can be resized. So, unlike a television screen, where the image is always full screen, your video could occupy a portion of your screen, the remaining being used for other text and graphics. Simply put, larger the image size, larger the file size. You can resize the video using any video editing software. The format of the video file also affects the size. There are a large number of video formats and a large number of media players too. Some examples are AVI, audio-video interleave files, Qt, QuickTime files, MPG, MPG2, MPV2, MPG video files, MJPG, Motion JPG file, MOV, Apple QuickTime, FLV, SWF, Flash video files. As these file formats are specific to the video capture card you use, and you may not have much choice while handling video from an analog source. Also, cameras and video editing software are built around specific file formats. So, even with digital files you may not have too much of a choice. Again, if you wish to serve your files through the web, the operating system and support software on the web server will restrict your choice. So for practical reasons, you may have to work with a few video formats. But you can still convert digital video files from one format to another using video converter software. Like in the case of still images, compression techniques are adopted to reduce file size. We will not get into the details of video compression, except to note that reduction of image size and change of format are both used appropriately to compress the file. Typically, a computer file can be operated upon only when it is complete. So, when you try to play back a video, it will not play until the entire file is downloaded into the memory of the playback machine. This will seriously limit the performance of the video if the file sizes are large. In order to optimize the playback capability, the technique of streaming is adopted. Streaming basically involves enabling a player software to play the file as soon as a predefined part of it is downloaded. The video begins playing while the file is progressively being downloaded. At the server end, it involves making copies of the video file available and enabling progressive downloads to each requesting client. 13.3 Digital video technology. The digital signal basically consists of high voltage pulses and the blank between two consecutive pulses representing the base voltage or zero. This technology, therefore, has some distinct advantages over analog signals. Firstly, it can be transmitted over larger distances without losses. Even when losses do occur, it is easier to reconstruct them as they are a steady stream of pulses. They occupy much less space on storage and transmission devices, leading to higher density transfer and hence better quality images. Random access to different parts of the digital file is possible, thereby facilitating nonlinear processing. This has led to enormous time and cost saving in the production process. The development of optical media, CD, DVD and now Blu-ray, has also eliminated the problems of wear out and fungal attacks, which were common on magnetic tapes. Having thereby reduced the dependence on professional devices, it has now become possible for even normal desktop computers and laptops to play back or even construct videos. 3.3.1 IEEE 1394. IEEE 1394 is a standard developed by the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers for high-speed isochronous, a guaranteed and steady rate data transfer. Most professional video devices support this interface, which supports data transfer rates of up to 400 megabits per second in 1394A and 800 megabits per second in 1394B. The high speed of this connection makes it ideal for devices that need to transfer high levels of data in real time, such as video devices. And like USB, 1394 supports both plug-and-play and hot plug-in, also providing power to peripheral devices. Apple Incorporated, which originally developed the technology, calls it the FireWire port. It is also known as I.Link or links, so when you need to transfer video from, say, your camera to the computer and have a choice of a FireWire port, you should opt for it. Also, if you have a choice while selecting a camera or a video capture card, you could look for this port 13.3.2 MPEG. This is a standard for audio and video files developed by the Motion Pictures Expert Group, therefore called MPEG. Extended from the JPG format, it is also a lossy compression format, meaning you lose information when you compress. This format has become extremely popular, particularly in audio, MP3, and video, MPG. While the first version MPG-1, compressed to 1.5 MBITS, is still used to produce digital video of VHS quality, all VCD, for instance, broadcast video and audio use MPG-2 format, which compresses video to between 3 and 15 MBITS, used for DVD, cable television, etc. MPG-2 devices are backward compatible, that is, they can decode MPG-1. Also, while we are very likely to be using digital audio and video, we need to be aware of these standards and the file formats derived from these in order to choose appropriate codecs while digitizing, editing and exporting audio and video onto different devices or platforms, for instance the internet or a VCD or a DVD. 13.4 Computer configuration for digital video. Most modern-day desktop computers and even laptops have adequate capabilities to process digital video. By processing, we mean importing video from a camera, downloading a file and playing it back. What should those essential characteristics of the computer be? We would like a computer to be able to allow us to edit video, to crop it, trim it, add some special effects, titles, sound, transitions, resize it, compress it and store it in a desired media or even upload it onto a website. What should the computer be equipped with to handle such tasks? 3.4.1 Computer. Most graphics and video tasks are handled by the graphics card. Supported by a large enough memory, it is this card which enables smooth display of video. Modern-day graphics cards have their own processors, their own memory and handle the entire graphics tasks literally on their own. The larger the graphics memory, larger will be the file size it will handle, which translates to higher resolution, larger image size, and better colors. Most media management and editing are carried out by software. 3.4.2 storage device. Large enough hard disks will give you the freedom to acquire and store audio and video in large quantities. A typical raw, uncompressed, full screen video of say an hour's duration could occupy up to about 100 gigabytes, simply beyond the capability of any computer to process. But, fortunately, nobody works with the whole video at a time. We always work with individual shots, which are typically a few seconds to a few minutes long. The storage space is also for the sound effects, music, commentary, stock, shots, and various versions of our unfinished product. Hard disks have crossed the terabyte, 100,000,000,000,000 bytes range, and hence no more an issue. 3.4.3 Video capture card. Video capture card, as we discussed earlier, would be a very critical component if we have an analog source of video. The file formats, the compression, the editing software offered, and therefore the quality of the final output will very much depend on this card. Connected as a daughter board on the computer, this card will possess all the audio and video inputs and outputs. Different kinds of connectors depending on the source, software to control the video recorder, selection of options and interface with the editing software could all be part of the video capture card. If you are dealing with high-quality video from a professional camera, the video capture card will be the most critical and also the most expensive part of the system. There are a range of cards available with software support for different operating systems. If you are setting up a video editing unit, the capture card will be the first item to be selected. The specifications of the computer and the range of accessories needed will be decided on the basis of this card. In turn, the card selection depends on the type of analog video and audio sources you have. Video capture cards are also used to export the edited video to analog storage devices, videotape for example, or to CD-DVD. If you wish to convert your video into the CD-DVD format, appropriate software codecs for compressing video and for conversion of your video to an appropriate format will be required. Besides, you would require a drive and blank discs, which can support CD-DVD writing. Fortunately, digital audio and video sources are becoming exceedingly common and match professional analog equipment in quality and performance. Hence, you may wish to resort to digital equipment, in which case you may at best need to interface your camera or recorder to the computer and copy files. 3.4.4 Camcorder. Traditionally, the two major components of the video recording system, namely the camera and the recorder, were separate units. This imposed various restrictions on their use to people. At least to operate the two units, need to interface them, and workflow management. In a typical studio recording situation, where multiple cameras are used simultaneously, sharing of a recorder made very good sense. Camcorders, on the other hand, combined these two units into one. So you had the camera, the imager, usually the CCD or CMOS, for recording the light, and the recording media, tape, optical or solid-state device, all rolled into one compact unit, making it very easy and efficient for one person to operate. Camcorders range from very small, lightweight handheld cameras to broadcast quality professional cameras. As we mentioned, they can support a varied range of storage devices like videotapes, CD-DVD, hard disks, and of late, solid-state memory disks. also known as flash memory. 3.4.5 cables and connectors. The need to upload the recorded video and audio onto the editing unit requires a suitable interface between the two systems. The simplest way is, of course, to remove the media and play it back in a player connected to the editing unit. But in case you need to connect the camcorder to the editing unit directly, you can do it in one of four ways: times component, times composite, times firewire, and times USB. In the case of component, the video signal is analyzed into three separate signals: RY, BY, and Y, where R stands for red, B for blue, and Y for luminance or brightness. At the receiving end, either at the editing unit or at the television monitor, these signals are interpreted to yield the information for red, green, and blue for the generation of the colored image. The composite, as the name suggests, is a combined, or rather premixed, signal. The amateur handheld camcorders generally provide a firewire or a USB, or both in some cases. These are purely digital interfaces and used for direct data transfer. In these cases, you would copy an image file from the recording media to the other storage media. Each of these types of video transfer would require its own kind of cables and connectors. It is obviously beyond our scope to study more details about the technological differences between each of these connections, but if you are using a video camera and need to upload video onto a computer, either directly or through a video card, digitize video, you need to be aware of the types of connections available and select appropriate cables for the purpose. 13.5 Process of video production. One of the major purposes for this unit was to acquaint you with the potential of video for educational communication. While it is likely that you may opt for using a trained technician or a professional for the technical processes of recording, editing, and packaging, a process that cannot be outsourced is the communication. Only you can define the purpose, the scope and range of content, identify, and put together the information you wish to present. Let us briefly examine the ways in which these tasks are accomplished. 3.5.1 Pre-production. Like any communication, you need to plan a video too. Just like a lesson plan, you would identify the objectives, some kind of an introduction, develop the content using appropriate examples, activities, experiments, supporting it with other information which could be graphical, graphs, photographs, drawings, etc., and speech. You put them all together into a script, which forms the guideline for the production. Video allows even more flexibility. Unlike a teacher in a classroom, the video presenter is not fixed in time and space. You can, for example, say, "Let us examine this crater on Mars," and the visual could be a close-up of a Martian crater. You can substantiate your argument or support your information with still images, animation, or video inserts. In order to make your statements authentic, you can also bring in various people to narrate their experiences or present their arguments straight from the horse's mouth. And finally, you could use music and sound effects. And obviously all of these cannot be achieved in 45 minutes, a typical period in your class. As a producer, you would identify the resources, the people, the locations, the logistics, the schedule and equipment to carry out the task. The script would be your guideline. Video, of course, has its limitations too. You are not there to catch that bored look on the student's face and modify your pace, change your example, crack a joke, or even ask the student to wake up. You have for all purposes handed over the remote control. This is where the creative part of the script fits in. A video script is not only a prescription for the technical parts but also a visualization of the scenes and dramatization. Purposefully using it hold the attention of the viewer, get him/her interested and reach out with the message is an art, which would require practice. 3.5 production. This is the part where all the technology is first put to use. This is where the script is translated into an audiovisual medium. While in a professional production, a large number of people and a range of equipment related to light, sound and video could be involved, your production may even involve one camera and one person in front of it. The choice is dependent on the complexity of the script. All the recording of audio and video is achieved at this stage. For practical reasons, you may have taken repeated shots of the same subject, overcoming errors or shooting from alternate perspectives. If the scene involves people conversing, then you would have a large number of shots together establishing the conversation, etc. We will not be able to get into the details here. Suffice it to say that you will have more video than you actually need. For the final product, care should be taken to record audio which is loud and clear enough to suit the requirements of your script, avoiding all noise to the extent possible. Systematic planning is very critical to ensure that you have all the shots your script requires. You may not be able to revisit a location or organize all the people you need again. There may simply not be a second chance. Good producers spend a lot of time reading and rereading the script, visualizing each shot to its last detail and working out all the requirements well in advance. 3.5.3 Post-production, the final assembly and trimming of video, adding sound and transition effects, removing noise, adding titles, graphics or other inserts and publishing it onto a CD, DVD or videotape as a finished video product happens at this stage, also known as editing. The first step in this process is gathering together all the raw materials or resources you require, the video, the audio, the graphics, etc. In the digital world, the editing process is carried out using editing software. All the resources have to be digitized using your video capture card and stored on the hard disk in formats appropriate to the editing software. Each piece of video, a shot or a clip is previewed many times over. The start and end points noted and sequenced. This process could be achieved on paper or, in the case of some editing software, electronically and is referred to as the development of an edit decision list, EDL. Typically, editing software allows us to work on pieces of video in any sequence we desire. You could, for example, complete some part of the video, which is in the end, and then take up the beginning. That is why such editing is also popularly known as nonlinear editing, as opposed to analog tape-based editing, where the process had to be achieved sequentially, beginning at the very beginning depending on the computer platforms, Wintel or Apple, or dedicated video platforms and the video capture card. There are a range of editing software with enormous features, effects and capabilities. While discussing their details is beyond the scope of this unit, we will introduce you to two editing software, one which is part of your Windows operating system's accessories, Windows Movie Maker, and another a web-based video editing tool known as Kaltura. In the subsequent sections, we will assume you have access to some digital video and audio stored on your computer's hard disk. Even if you do not, you should be able to achieve this easily based on what you learnt in the previous sections. 13.6 Video editing using Movie Maker. Windows Movie Maker is generally installed when you install Windows XP or Windows Vista operating systems. It is a simple, straightforward movie making software and allows you to edit your video and publish it as a web-based video or for playback on a desktop computer. It does not expect you to know much about video production and handholds you through a step-by-step process. Launch Windows Movie Maker. You should see the following: a task pane, listing the steps you need to perform, a collections window, a player window, and a timeline storyboard window. We would strongly suggest you read the help topics under the help menu before you begin using the software. The basic processes involved are creating a collection of your audio and video files and any other graphics file you need, making a project, a container file which stores information about the sequencing, timing, effects, and any modifications in the original clips you have made, and publishing the movie, a final product file which will play back independently in a suitable player software. You may import video and audio directly from your camera or microphone, or use media files stored on your hard disk or any other storage device connected to your computer. You may use a video capture card, a USB or a IEEE 1394 port to connect your camera, or even your sound card to import audio. The task pane lists the steps you take: 1. Capture video, 2. Edit movie, and 3. Finish movie. Let us look at each of these steps briefly. In our example, let us use video files stored on our hard disk, say in the folder C, My Documents, My Video. The video files may be in the .avi, .mpg, or the .wmv format. Let us use the .wav files for our audio. For graphics, let us use .jpg files. See help topics for other supported formats. The listing in the task pane works like a wizard, taking us step by step through the movie making process. So let us use this support. Click on Import Video. If you were importing from the camera, you would opt for Capture from Video Device. Select the video files and click Import. Repeat the process for importing graphics, import pictures and sound, import audio or music. Your collections pane gets populated. Notice the byline, drag a clip and drop it on the timeline below. Do just that. Select the clip you wish to place first in the movie and drag it onto the timeline below. The timeline and storyboard are alternate views of your project. While the storyboard allows you to view the sequence of clips and any audio, transition effects, or titles, the timeline allows you to review or modify the timing of clips in your project. Use the timeline buttons to perform tasks, such as changing the view of your project, zooming in or out on details of your project, recording narration, or adjusting the audio levels. You can use the trim handles, which appear when you select a clip to trim unwanted portions of your clip. You can also preview all of the clips in your current project which are displayed on the timeline. After dragging all the clips onto the timeline in the right order, you may re-order them to your heart's content, zoom into the clips, trimming it where necessary, or to synchronize it with the audio and to make your movie slick. Let us now add some captions onto the video. Perhaps these are subtitles in some other language, or the movie's title or credit titles at the end. There are two forms in which titles appear, one as an independent graphic on its own background, and two as an overlay on the video. Like in the case of a subtitle. Go to Tools, Titles and Credits. The Titles pane gives you the options. You may add a title at the beginning or end of the movie, before or after a selected clip, or overlay it on a clip. Let us select Add Title on the selected clip on the timeline. A new pane with a text window opens, where you may type in your text. Notice an instant preview is generated in the player pane. Also notice a video effect is already applied to the title. If you are satisfied, click Done, add title to movie. If not, move down to More options. You can now change the animation effect or the text effect. Let us change the text. Click on Change the text font and color. The resulting pane allows you to select a new font, a new color for the text, increase or decrease the font, and justify the text in the frame. Notice there is no option for the vertical position of the text. Each of the titling effect comes with preset positions. So, if you are not happy with the position of the text, go to Change Title Animation and choose from among the 1-line and 2-line text animations. As you can see an instant preview, you can select the one that suits your need. Finally, click Done, add title to the movie. Now you would like to publish your movie. Go back to the Movie Tasks pane and open Finish Movie. You have a variety of options for saving or sending. This movie: save on computer, save on CD, send in email, send to web, or even send to a digital video or DV camera. Let us for now save this movie on your hard disk. When you select this option, a wizard opens to guide you. Select the location to which you wish to save and click Next. Now you have options for selecting frame size and quality. The default is best quality and the details of this choice are listed below. Click on More choices. Go to Other, Settings and pull down the options. You will see a very large range of presets. Let us say we wish to finally post this video on our blog and that our audience has slow broadband connections. Opt for video for broadband, 150 kbps. Notice all the settings change to accommodate this new restriction. Click Next, and that's it. The movie is saved in the destination folder. If you have checked the option Play Movie when I click Finish, you will see a grand playback of your movie. As in the case of all software, there will be a number of choices available at each step. Do explore them and have fun making movies. 13.7 Using web-based video editing tool. Having produced your video, however small or big it is, you would certainly like to show it to others. If you opt for offline methods, you may put it on a CD or DVD. But if you wish to make it available online, you will have to be aware of a few more issues. As we have discussed earlier, size here refers to the file size as well as the pixel size of the video frame. Internet is still not fast enough to support smooth playback of video. Enthusiasts, however, have found workarounds. Small stamp size video, a few seconds to a few minutes long, placed on a streaming server is adequate to communicate small messages. You will find a large number of such uses on the web. Look up http://youtube.com for instance. Compression formats for video files, for instance, Shockwave and Flash video, are also being used to deploy banners and even tutorials. Host it will be the second challenge you need to address. Web servers use media servers, software capable of serving audio or video to service requests for playback of video. Flash media server, real media server, etc. are commonly used in the Windows domain. Not only is the preparation of your video for web hosting an involved task, but web hosting charges can also be steep. Before you learn to cope with the technological requirements, you should try this out. While a search for free hosts for video on a search engine like Google will yield a number of sites willing to host your video, utmost discretion is required, as many of these sites earn their revenue hosting undesirable or adult content. One of the sites we recommend is Kaltura, http://corp.kaltura.com. This is an open source video platform where you can upload your raw video, edit, and then publish it for online viewing. This site provides a free trial service to a limit, 10 gigabytes, and offers to upgrade you to a paid service thereafter. The free trial includes 10 gigabytes of hosting. Streaming. A simple calculation will show that this is actually not much if you have a lot of video or a lot of clients. If you have a 1 megabyte video and about 100 people viewed it every day, you would have used 100 megabytes each day. 10 gigabytes is 100 times this figure. That is, if you host 100 files of about 1 megabyte each, and 100 people viewed each of these videos, then your trial offer is over in a day. But the purpose of this exercise is not to provide you with a web hosting option for your videos, but to demonstrate a capability of the web and help you explore the technology associated with video post-production and hosting. So, we will assume that you have a few videos of a few MB each. For the trial, the proposed video activity can be quite effectively completed within the trial period. As the first step, sign up for a free trial. This involves filling up a form on the Kaltura site and providing a few details. Once you are a registered user, you are given access to Kaltura's tools. The first task would be to gather together your raw audio, video and photographs, a process called ingestion. Kaltura handles a variety of formats for each of your media. This application also allows direct upload from a web camera or microphone and even from VHS video players. This is a straightforward step where you browse your hard disk or the web, select the files and click on Upload, see figure 13. Once uploaded, you can add keywords and other descriptors which will help you organize and users search for your video. The second step is to compose your video, a process that requires you to work with a video editor. Kaltura's video editor comes in two forms: one, straightforward one, which is somewhat similar in functionality with Windows Movie Maker, and a more premium version where you can work with advanced features and modify your audio, video or photographs, apply transitions and effects, add subtitles in a variety of ways, etc. Kaltura's Video PowerPoint Registered Trademark Symbol widget allows you to synchronize video with PowerPoint Registered Trademark Symbol slideshows, add subtitles and captions in any language to any type of web video, delivering a rich contextual multimedia experience. See figure 13.9. The special feature of these subtitles is the facility to select a preferred language for the subtitles. The next steps are relevant when you are ready to host the video on your website or run a course or forum in which the video is integrated. Then you need to get into managing your videos, decide on how to stream them and ways to embed the video, what player, how will it look, what will be the controls, etc. on the web page. You will learn about websites and content management systems in later units. Revisit this unit when you have experienced video on the web again, as we have mentioned time and again. All the features cannot be exhausted in such a unit. Do try this online video editing software and explore its wide variety of features. 13.8 Summary. We present to you below a brief summary of discussions in this unit. Times with advances in technology, video has become a very popular medium for audiovisual communication. The advent of digital video and its processing on normal desktop computers and miniaturization leading to small handheld camcorders have been mainly responsible for this popularity. Times cinema is based on recording images on film and playing it back, rapidly enough to simulate real-time motion. Video and television, on the other hand, use a scanning of a stream of electrons across a photo sensor while recording and a phosphorescent screen while displaying images. This scanning process has a bearing on various parameters such as aspect ratio, size of the video frame, colors and their range, recording and playback, digitization and transmission of video signals. Analog video can be converted into digital video using a video capture interface. Once digitized, video can be stored as a digital file in a variety of formats. They can also be converted from one format to another using appropriate converter. Digital video can be stored on a variety of media like videotape, CD-DVD, hard disks and flash memory devices like memory sticks, etc. Digital video formats are selected based on the purpose of the video and the storage and transmission medium. Broadcast video has the highest resolution and hence the highest file size. Video for the web uses the highest compression and small image sizes, making it suitable for playback on low-speed internet connections. Video communication is a creative medium and calls for a range of abilities. Developing a communication on video requires systematic planning, organizing, production and post-production activities, requiring a range of educational, technical and professional skills. While professional video production is an involved process, you can also use small handheld camcorders and a computer-based software to compile, edit and produce an amateur video communication. Software like Windows Movie Maker has features designed for the amateur video enthusiast. You may use an online facility like Kaltura to develop web-ready video. Thank you. Subscribe to our channel for more updates, and we will see you with the next chapter.